for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network.
All right, welcome, Fade to Black. How you doing? Today is Friday, December 6th, 2024. You don't have to adjust your sets. Yes, I am live on a Friday night, and this is a very special presentation. I just got back from Peru last week. Well, a week ago today. And this is a recap of Peru and Bolivia. And before we get started, I want to thank, of course, Brian Forrester and his Hidden Inca Tours team for putting together an amazing tour and a group of people that has become family. Some of them are in the chat tonight. A bunch are watching. And I've been getting the text and notifications in on that. That's very, very cool. And some of them will pop up throughout tonight. I'm going to on the screen. That is, and I know everybody by name and the cities and states and countries where they live. I'm going to keep all of that kind of on the down low, for it's privacy stuff. And I'm sure they wouldn't mind, but then again, there you go. But anyway, so there's that part. Next, tonight is going to be commercial free. We're going to start where we start. We are going to end where we end. I have 820, exactly, by the way, 820 images and videos. Don't have the time to do all of that because that would take nearly 3 weeks. But we're going to bounce through it tonight, and hopefully you will see a side of Peru and Bolivia that you have never seen before. And I also want to announce that in 2025, I am going back to Peru twice with Brian Forrester. And if you would like to go to Peru with us, just visit the Hidden Inca Tours website. The links for that are below. Click on tours. We've got one tour coming up in June for the solstice, and that is a very, very special tour. I believe half of it is sold out. We've got maybe 10 seats left on that tour. So if you want to go, the Inca celebration of the sun, if you want to go on that tour, get signed up right now. And then I'm also going back in November. All right. And this is a full tour, both of them, of Peru and Bolivia, as well as Nazca, if you want to participate in that section of each tour. The links for everything are below. It's self-explanatory. You can figure it out. And would love to see all of you come down to Peru because it is a very special place. So, like I said, 820 images and video. I'm sort of organized by location. And this is live, all right? So we're going to see. Now, also, I've taken the audio out of the video. I'm going to narrate through the video and tell you what's going on. And so there's that part too as well. In case of, where's the audio? No. I'm going to narrate, all right? This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be tore up by the end of the night because this is a lot of information and stuff. But I also get to relive the tour with all of you. And for those that are here tonight from the tour, you're going to get to do that as well. Anybody on the tour would have noticed me wandering off, taking a lot of images and a lot of video because I'm putting together a documentary. So some of this is footage and B-roll that I shot for the documentary too as well. And they were watching me do it throughout. And so now they get to see some of the images that I was actually taking. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I don't need this over here, so I'll flick it back over to comments. If you were on the tour, say hello to everybody in the chat. I'm looking through. I see Gina is in the chat, and Gina was on the tour, and I don't know who else. There's way too much going on in the chat, but say hello to everybody in the chat, and the Fader Knots, if you were on the tour, they would love to say hello to you. Okay, so the tour started off in Paracas, so I'm going to go there first, and this is getting off of the bus in Paracas. This is our very, very first stop, and this is the Red Cliffs and the cathedral in Paracas. This is Peru. Now, what I want you to notice here is as I scan around with the camera, I did this on purpose so you could see that there is really nothing here. There's no homes, there's no city, there's no towns. This is nothing but dry, open desert where it rains like once in 300 years kind of situation. And you may have seen the video that I posted about me landing on Mars, and there was oxygen on Mars. That was shot here. As a matter of fact, that video that I posted online about Mars was shot right there to the left and facing back towards the mountains. But this is part of Peru. This is along the coastline. In front of us is the Pacific Ocean. And you're going to see the dramatic view here in just a second. I did this last year too as well, the same walk, and I knew what was coming up. So I wanted to shoot this and present it to all of you because it is just amazing. So that's it, man. Next stop is like Easter Island and Hawaii straight out in front of us. And bam. That is the coastline of Peru. This is the Red Cliffs. This is the cathedral. And the cathedral is right there. And one of the most photographed places in the world. But the thing is about this, and just look at it, it's beautiful. It's majestic. That this is when you go on the tour with Brian, this is now, see, everybody is now coming up. There's Brett. There's Pat, there's Brett Fader Knot. He wore his Fader Knot shirt. There's Doug, and I have now been to 4 countries with Doug this year, and his wife Sherry is in here somewhere. But anyway, that is Paracas, and that's the first stop on the tour. After this, we and I'll bring it up here in just a second. We visit a museum, beautiful hotel right on the coast there, and I'll take you through some of those images here in a second. And the Tello Museum, it's incredible. There are some elongated skulls there. Now, so that's kind of that's the flavor. That's Peru. You are going to another world. I can't stress that enough. Now, I promised some strange stuff. What I'm about to show you now is something that, and it's very, very strange. Okay. Oops, I've got this on the wrong screen. There we go. Let's pull this up here. Okay. On the road, on the highway, between Paracas and Lima, it's about 20 miles. It's a stretch of an area where in 1985, there was a crash and a landing of a UFO. Okay. ET visited this town, and the military came in and blocked everything off. Don't know what happened with the craft. and the entire incident was squashed. Now, this went on for a few months, the military occupying this part, but the local population there embraced the event. All right. Now, so much so that on this stretch of highway between Paracas and Lima, there is a string, and I mean a string, 20 miles of them, of ET ice cream shops. Now, I know what you're saying. Jimmy, what? Yes. Now, last year, I saw it for the first time and driving. I was like, what's going on with? And I took some images, but I was blown away looking out the window of the bus, one shop after another. So this time around, I wasn't going to miss it. It is unbelievable. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about this. Now, this is at the very beginning of it. Now, what are we looking at here? Well, check this out. Off in the distance, right here, there's a flying saucer. Okay. Now, if you look here, all these signs, there's an ET right there. There's an ET there. It's ET ice cream. This is the first shop that I came by. All right. Now, just watch this. And it looks like I'm repeating, by the way. Okay. So let's zoom in. There's ET. See, ET ice cream, right? Okay, you got it? ET, and they're all green chairs, people in costume out on the street waving you in. And this literally goes on for miles. Now, you're going to think that I'm taking the same pictures here. I am not. There's another one right there. There's your ET, green, right? That's one. Watch this. There's another one. I'm just taking pictures out of the bus. Okay. And this incident, I talked to Brian, and now this is across the street. So I'm sitting in the front of this is across the highway on the other side. There you go. Right? ET. You see it? ET. Look at the billboard. ET ice cream. Right? Look at the flying saucer here. See that? Okay. Now, and I was just blown away by how the culture, this is another stand. This is, I'm just banging pictures. They're passing by so fast. And there you go. Just one after another. And now, did the town see ET? I don't know. Is this something that was witnessed or something? I don't know. Now look, behind it, there's another one. Right? Go behind that. There's another one. These ladies here dressed up as ET with the antenna hats on. Right? Now, if you back up in this shot, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, probably 15 ice cream shops just in this one shot. Okay, like I said, it looks like things are repeating. They are not. These are different shots. Look at that. They are everywhere. And a lot of these shops are really, really, really creative. Again, this looks like a different shot. It's not. This is the same shot. It's not. This is a different shot. One after another. Just lined up, and down here there's more, and it's just the craziest. These are all ET ice cream shops, and this is something that when you go to Peru, these are not the same ladies. These are different ladies. These are different ice cream shops. And I couldn't fire off my camera fast enough. Those are all ET. And some of these are coming back on the highway in the other direction. Now, again, it looks like it's the same shot. It's not. It's just continues and goes on for miles. Now, it's my guess here in looking at all of this. Now, you saw in the previous shot, there was like a SUV, or we're busting by at 70 miles an hour. These are all different ice cream shops. And it's funny how the culture, they're just lined up, has embraced this. And when we came back on the other side of the freeway in the other direction, I took another row of another hunk of shots. But this is, you know, oh, by the way, this is the town is called Chilca. And you can read about this landing, and I don't know if it was officially a crash retrieval. The military came in and cordoned off the area for a few months, and you can look up Chilca, Peru, UFO 1985, and go and read about this event yourself. And this is something that isn't discussed in our community very much, but it should be. This is a very, very big event, and it's something that the country itself has embraced. It's absolutely incredible. Okay, I'm going to go in alphabetical order here. I've got all of these folders. So there's that part. And next, let me see here. Hold on. Let me pull up this next video. Let me see what's playing next. Okay. No, we're not going to do that because we need sound for that. Okay. Now check this out. What I'm going to show you here, this is at the beginning of the tour. This is on the way to Nazca. And as you we're on it's a long drive. It's a cruise getting to the Nazca Plains and the Nazca Desert. But this is an Inca cave. All right, an Inca tunnel that the highway goes through now. Now, to get through the pass in the mountains, right, a tunnel had to have been created in modern times, but the Inca did this when they built the Inca roads. All right, so check this out. This is from the front of the bus. This cave, this tunnel that you're looking at, is 900 years old. Check it out. And there's a sign. This is a very historic spot. But check this out as we go through, and you can see it well lit up. That is an ancient tunnel dug by the Incas that only one car can go through at a time. It's only a single lane. And so traffic is halted on both sides as it's going through. But that is an Inca cave. What kind of cameras? I'm using my iPhone. Using my iPhone. iPhones are great. But now as we come out of this tunnel, we are approaching Nazca, but you have to experience this. Just check out the talented bus driver here. All right. These are hairpin turns. And this bus driver, this is okay. You need to go on the tour if you do it just for this section of road. This is worth the price of admission. And it reminds me a lot of the world's most dangerous roads, right? Whatever that show is on History Channel. But that's the road we're going to continue driving on down below us. And it's probably, I'm going to guess here and say we're at 12 or 13,000 feet. And this is a bus. This ain't a car. And I'm sitting in the front of the bus hanging on and enjoying the ride. And it takes a very skilled driver to do this and to negotiate this. But I just wanted to share this with you here. A couple of these turns. This is fun. And for those of us that are here from the tour, they know exactly what I'm talking about right now. And they know these are hairpin turns going down the side of the mountain. And when we pop out at the bottom, we're a few miles away from Nazca. Now on this next turn, you're going to see the Nazca Plateau off in the distance, and which is level and flat. And that is where Nazca is on top of it. But yeah, this is it. Check out our driver. I had to shoot him. I had to get him on. He's just leaning into the and I got to tell you, man, everybody that's watching this from the tour is like, yep. Okay, so that's Nazca in the background. That's part of the plateau, that ridge. And then off to the left is where the Nazca lines are. And that's where we were headed right there. We were on our way to Nazca. And so let me see where I am at now with this. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Let me see here. I think it's this video. All right. Now, what I'm going to show you is pretty nuts. All right. So you just got to go with me on this. So Nazca, we board planes and we fly. Okay. I'm going to go back and show you images of Nazca here in a second. But while we were landing, okay, in our plane, and we took up, I think, 3 planes or 4 planes. And so we're landing. And while we are landing, our pilots started to act a little bit funny. And I heard some sirens from the airport. And as we started to like gather our wits here, I noticed people running at the airport. All right. So there was obviously an emergency and there was something going on. So I get off of the plane and I immediately, which is what you're going to see here, I immediately started shooting video. So this is me. The second I stepped off of the plane, this is Nazca. And yeah, Justin is in the chat room. Justin is from the tour. Sirens, people running. Yeah. And so nobody knows what's going on. We see a fire truck, an emergency vehicle pulling out, which is right there. That's there. It's pulling out. It's got its sirens blaring. And you can see all of the air crew, the emergency crew is running. And then somebody says a plane is coming in for an emergency landing. Now, this is all the emergency crew. And you can see the plane right there. There's the plane coming in. And this plane is coming in hot. It's hot. It's coming in fast and low. And it doesn't land on the runway. It lands in the dirt runway. And it comes in hard. Nobody knows what's going on. Now watch this guy as he comes in. Bam, he hits the ground, right? Gets the plane. He's hauling butt. And he comes flying by us. And there's an emergency crew. He's filming, right? There's another emergency dude right here. He's filming. There's another emergency guy. I'm standing here. My pilot from our plane is standing off to my right. He's filming. The plane hits the brakes right here. He jerks it around, and then he stops for the fire truck, the emergency vehicles, which are over here. Everybody's running, and here comes the truck. He stopped, and we're like, "What's going on?" Now, and it was indeed an emergency, and so the fire truck's pulling out. And the plane comes flying across. Watch this turn that he does. Hits the brakes, spins the plane around, right? And jerks it to a stop. It was very dramatic, this whole thing. And now I come back to my right, and the emergency crew that is next to me is telling me to back up. There's right, and they're rushing me in this other direction. And there's Doug. He's from our tour group. So I come over here. Nobody knows what's going on, and but I keep filming. That's me. I'm not going to stop. So now I'm expecting like a stretcher or an ambulance or something to come up. That's what I thought there was some kind of medical emergency. That's what I was assuming. And then I look, and it's our tour group getting off the plane. There's a lot of people taking tours, right? And now I'm yelling off to them here. I'm going, what's going on? Now everybody's holding up their arms and happy to be on the ground. And I walk up, and I'm just like, what happened? And some are laughing, and you can see, yeah, woo, we made it. And here comes Pat, and there's Colette, there's Erica, there's Christian, there's Frank. He's from Germany. And there's Erica. And I said, so what happened? And they said that the pilots were speaking in Spanish. They really didn't know, but they knew that there was an emergency, and they took off and immediately did a U-turn, never got to altitude, and the pilot turned around and landed, and they escort everybody off of the runway here. And now I was reticent to play this video. Why? I don't want to, nothing happened. All right. It was an emergency, and it was an emergency landing and everything. It was, and I felt strange that I was shooting video. I didn't know what was going on, but the trucks and the emergency vehicles and people running around. Yeah. So I didn't expect it to be our tour group. And so we never really got a straight answer why the plane had to do an emergency landing. But I'll say this, with our tour group, they turned around and got on another plane and did the Nazca tour. Yeah, they did. And yeah, I was a little weirded out by it, but hey, if you're going to if you're there and you want to see Nazca, you're going to turn around and do it. So there you go. So I thought that was something very interesting for everybody to see. Okay. All right. Now I've got more Nazca coming up. I'm just going in alphabetical order here. And here is, oh man, I keep pulling this up on the wrong screen. I apologize. Oh, you don't even see it. Oh, you don't even know that I'm hitting it on the wrong screen. Okay, that's fine. Now, I've talked about this site a lot. This is Amaru Muru. These are fresh images from Amaru Muru. And there you go. This is a portal. This is towards the end of the tour on our way to Bolivia and Puma Punku and Tiwanaku. And so here is a shot early in the morning of the portal at Amaru Muru. I'm just going to scroll through these. And now you can see the full site here. As you can see, it's cut into red sandstone. If you can follow my pointer here, when you go through the ceremony, I think I have some images here of Wilco doing the ceremony. You have one person here, you have one person in this slot, and one person over here. One is facing in, one is facing out. And that is the ceremony. There's a lot of historical context with this site about people disappearing and so forth. Behind the portal here is a tunnel on the other side of the wall that goes all the way through the red sandstone hill. It's just one piece of red sandstone. And that tunnel is now sealed off. and it was sealed off a few hundred years ago by the local village and the caretakers of the site because people from the village were disappearing at this portal. Poof, like disappearing. So here's our whole tour group as we are getting ready to do the ceremony. Let me see if I can zoom in. There's Doug, there's Tim, there's Tom, John. This is Justin here. I think Justin is in the chat room right now. There's Christian. This is Julio. Oh, look at that. There's Brett wearing his fade to black shirt. That's Chris. This is Gina right here. Gina's in the chat room right now. That's Gina. And let's see, that's Stacy. There's Doug. There's Sherry. Oh, this is Gina here. Oh, so who is this back here? That's Gina. Gina's in the chat room. And there's Lynn. And there's Alex. There's Charles. This is Gustavo's head. That's Wilco. There's another fade to black shirt. Look at that. That's Pat. And that's Erica over here on the end. I think that's most of our tour group. Somebody's missing. And I'm wondering who is sitting here. I don't know. I don't know how I could space that. But and there's Irene right there, Brian Forster's wife. Now, also here in the background, that's the village that and there's around the corner are some more homes, not many, 30 or 40 homes total of the local culture that takes care of this site. All right, so there we are. We're getting this is Wilco. He's performing the ceremony. There's a platform here, and incense is burning right there, and he's getting ready to start the ceremony. And there's Brian and I. There's Gina with her Question Everything shirt. Gina, you rock, by the way. You rock. And there's Gina. And this is Wilco. And she is in it. She's in the zone. She's in the zone. This is a fantastic picture. This is the second position. The first position, you put your hand here and your hand here, and you put your forehead here. And then you go through the ceremony, and then you turn around, and Wilco continues the ceremony. This is very personal. I don't want to get into what may or may not be going on. It's a personal part of the journey. And Gina is incredible. And so she went first. I went last. All right, now on the way out, this is the village, and this is a moonstone from Amaru Muru. And I have it here with me. I brought it back from Peru, and this was gifted to me at the site, but it's a beautiful stone, and this is from Amaru Muru. That's a moonstone from there. There it is in my hand, and that is Amaru Muru. Okay, let's move on. Let's see where we're going next. I've got 820 videos and images. I will do everything I can to get as much in tonight as possible. Okay, next, the Ballestas Islands. Now, Ballesteros. I am going to, where are my movies? Let's see here. There's the movie files. Okay. All right. Let me pull these up so I can see everything correctly. Okay. Movie files. There they are. Yes. Perfect. Okay. So this is some protected islands that you have to go out by boat. Picture Antarctica, the Galapagos, no humans. This is completely protected. This is a World Heritage Site, and it's absolutely incredible. But on the way out there, okay, on the way out, you see this. Now, I have shown many pictures of this, but today I have got video, but I'm going to pop this up first. This is the candelabra, or the trident of Paracas. It's total height. This is nobody knows the age of this. I don't know it's ginormous. That's a mountain. So it's, it's 1,000 feet tall, maybe I don't know, 500 feet wide. It's huge. And nobody knows who carved it or what the purpose is. All right. So these are the images. Now here's a video. And just to give you an idea of the size of this, it is ginormous. Now, what's the story behind this? I don't know. And what I mean by that is because it's so old and it is so ancient, nobody knows who built it or who carved it and what the purpose is. But I would say because it's nearly flat, it's not like pointing towards the sea. Okay. It is pointing towards the sky. I think that's very, very interesting. It seems like it is carved for somebody that is approaching or flying in or landing or coming into. Now, it could be for passing ships, but it's so old. What ships were navigating in this area? Also, it reminds you a little bit of Poseidon and his trident. Some say it's a candelabra, and those are flames. Could be, but it's a sign. It's a pointer. It's for something. Nobody knows exactly what it is for. There's another image straight on. This will give you an idea of the size of it. The boat here is probably a 1/4 mile offshore. It's another 1/4 mile to the candelabra. And there you go. And I think I have another video here. Yeah. This is a video. I don't know if this is when we were coming back or if the boat turned around, but I shot another video there. Absolutely incredible. Incredible. I don't have another way of putting it. Here you go. Just to give you an idea of the size. It's huge. And it's one of those things that nobody has any answers for. Here's another picture here to give you some perspective on it. This is the boat pulling away. We're a long ways offshore. And that's how big it is in the background. It's huge. It's huge. Okay, now this is out on the islands. I've got a lot of videos here. These are penguins, and this is a cave system here. And again, no humans on the island. There used to be, and they bring in some stuff they did many, many years ago. They harvested like guano from the island, and because there's so many birds and stuff. But this is just a shot. This is way, way out in the Pacific. And when you go on the tour with Brian Forrester, this is indeed a true highlight of the trip. And yeah, there's so many megalithic sites and all of these. There's a penguin. When have you ever seen a penguin in the wild? There's a penguin just sitting there. Absolutely incredible. Actually, he waved at us, by the way. Sea lions everywhere, by the way. Sea lions just kicking it, and just absolutely incredible. Incredible. The wildlife and look at these caves. And the caves are everywhere, and they're natural. Well, obviously natural, but what I meant to say is just, millions of years of erosion, and I have no idea what's happening here with these shots. I'm grabbing that shot, so you get both. This will be edited into the movie later. There's a reason why I've shot all of this. It's about as remote as you can get. This is out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Again, completely protected. Indigenous species all over. These guys are fighting. Watch this. He gets kicked off the rock. Yeah. Watch. I think I got the whole thing. This guy gets pushed into the water, and maybe it's and he's gone, and he goes to sleep. It was pretty funny. I got to tell you, sea lions, these guys have got life all figured out. There it is, just sleeping in the sun. Now this is high up. They've got to climb up on these rocks to crash out and get into the sun. But you know, they sleep, eat, and kicking it. There's some more penguins. Oh no, those aren't penguins. I don't know what kind of birds those are. Oh, those are penguins. Okay, my bad. Those are penguins. Another sea lion. More penguins. Penguins obviously everywhere here. And so that's the island, and I think I have 2 hours of footage of the island. But these caves, which there's the group of these caves cut through, I think every island there. Okay, now this is a gift to you. All right, let me explain this really quick. At our hotel in the Sacred Valley, and this particular hotel is built, the owner wanted to recreate the village that he grew up in. So we brought in some architects, and it's perfect. It's got ice cream shop and a bunch of restaurants and a hot chocolate cafe, which is just incredible. Anyway, outside of my room, on the steps outside of my room was this lady. And she was crocheting an alpaca Afghan blanket. And I come out and I stood behind her and watched her. And she's looking, she knew I was there. And I should almost play the audio on this because it's really funny. But I started shooting video. So this is what happens. At one point in the video, I go down and then I come back up and I say right in her ear, I go, beautiful. And she goes like that. And she giggles and smiles, but she never breaks stride. She keeps doing what she's doing. Look at this video. It's incredible. You'll never see anything like this. The intricate detail of what she is doing. Now she's on the edge. She's crocheting that. Look at this. It's beautiful. And there she is doing her thing. And I go, beautiful. Look, she smiles right there. And there you go. I'm going to watch that again. Okay. So just think how much time and how much knowledge is put into what she is doing right there. It's just perfect. It's so beautiful. And I go, beautiful. She goes, oh man. I hung out with her for 2 or 3 days. I kept coming out, just going out there. She didn't speak English. I don't speak whatever her native tongue is. But we enjoyed each other's company. Yeah. Absolutely incredible. Okay. So that's the Sacred Valley, and I don't know why that particular video popped up, but it did. Okay, so that's the islands, and now next, let's go to Cusco. Let's go to Cusco, everybody. Now this is not in any particular order, but so let's see what we've got coming up here. And first up is John Lang. Now, Cusco, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It's very old. Some say that there are 3 cities. The city that you see now is the 3rd version of Cusco, but below it, there are 2 other cities that go back deep into antiquity. And throughout Cusco, and this is the incredible part, are these megalithic stone walls, just like you see here. And it's everywhere. You just walk around Cusco and just, if you know what you're looking for, you're going to see it. There are 3 timelines here. There's the megalithic, which is what you're seeing here, which is pre-Inca. Okay. And the Inca came in and inherited this and then built on top of it. After that, the Spanish came in and defeated the Inca, and they built on top of the Inca. So you can see these 3 different timelines. But the pre-Inca, the megalithic, nobody knows. Nobody knows much about the culture, how old these stones are and the stone walls. And this goes for any megalithic site in Peru, and that Ollantaytambo, Sacsayhuaman, of course, Cusco. You go to these ancient sites, Tipan, which you're going to see. This is part of the city. These are avenues. These are streets. And this image here, this is John Lang, and he was there with his wife, Chris. John's absolutely amazing person, and so is Chris. And so this is a shot. But now I want you to look what's going on in the background. I've got a lot of images here we're going to go through. But there's all of those intricate polygonal cuts and grooves and these little dimples and these little things. And they are everywhere. This is just a random shot in a random alley in Cusco. And then all you have to do is just go into the background here and look at that. And this is megalithic. It could be 10,000 years old. It could be older than that. Nobody really knows. But that right there says it all. And I've got a lot of images. So that's John. Let's just go through here. Oh, there's my jewelers. All right. There they are. All that jewelry. Oh, man, I've got some jewelry I was going to show everybody on the show. This is Teo. He is an anthropologist. This is Cusco in the background. This is part of our tour of Cusco, but this is Teo. He's absolutely amazing, and his knowledge of he'll be a part of the tour if you come next year. His knowledge of the area is incredible. But this is a great shot. I love it. But when you go in the background here and you look at the bases of these buildings and what is going on, you see megalithic stuff everywhere. There's a stone in the corner of the square that Brian will point out to you. So that's me and a little baby lamb in Cusco. Lamb is cute. I'm pretty handsome. That's nothing. It's this stuff, that little notch right there. That little notch is incredible. That's a megalithic wall. And you just go, look at that. See that notch? That's crazy. And every single spot on these stone walls where there's an intersection, you're going to see something like that. It's insane. And this is Cusco. All right. And that's a baby lamb. So here I am going around Cusco, and I love these notches. So what am I pointing? I'm pointing at that. That right there. See this angle and the angle down? And then not only is the angle there, but there's a notch to lock in those stones. Now, look how tight that is. And these are smooth squares. These are not the it's polygonal because there's that ridge. That's just one. Look at this. Now, I'm going to show you so many shots. You think that's the same shot? It's not. I'm taking them everywhere. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's an 8-sided stone. And the stone itself and the 8 sides is incredible. But what do you see? Go in close. There's a notch right there. It's not just the side. Look, that's crazy. And look how tight it is. This is thousands of years old. And I can show you examples of this over and over and over again. Just go in and look at any intersection and you're going to see these notches. And they're everywhere. Everywhere. This is just a random shot of a stone wall in Cusco. It's just a random shot. And all you got to do is zoom in. Look at that notch. It's just, it's insane to look at this just repeat everywhere. And how did an ancient culture do this? I have no idea. And this is in a modern city. Now, look how this is a random alley. It just continues. Any spot in here is the most incredible thing you've ever seen. Anyone, pick out a stone. Anyone. Every step has got a story. Okay, this is the famous 12-sided stone right here. Just bang past this. There's probably a lot of images here. Many people were using my camera at the same time. There's Teo. And I stopped at this stone for a lot of different reasons. But this had the dimples high, as well as the dimples in the middle and the dimples low. Nobody really knows what those dimples are for. I don't have any idea. Here's a video of just a walk down a random alleyway or street in Cusco. I could stop this video at any point. Here's the dimples. I could stop this at any point, and you're just looking at something incredible. You could just stand there all day and wonder how this got done. Now, I would venture to say, and now I'm going to pause this here. That's a corner. So you can see how far back this goes. This is a city block all the way down, and then this takes a turn. Let's back this up. Watch this. Prepare to have your mind blown. That's a corner. Now, as we stop here, that's Inca. That's Inca construction. This is megalithic. That's megalithic. That's old. That's pre-Inca. And then you can see the Inca side of things there where they came in. I took this close up here. There was an earthquake. There was some separation in the stones, but I wanted to get a depth shot here. So I did. You can see how far back the stones go and then see this notch. So that's the construction, and it's smooth. You know, it's not rough on the other side, but this was pulled out in the earthquake. So there's a space here, but look at that. That's carved. It's absolutely incredible. So I took some close-ups of it. You can see how it's carved. It's incredible. Some say it was there's Gustavo and John Lang. Some say, you know, maybe they were heated. I'm on board with that. I think it's a great theory and a great idea. Could be heated and they were pushed into place like clay or batter. You know, I think that's a possibility. But then here's another side. These are megalithic, but these are smooth. So these were carved and placed. And I go through here and I just look at and start counting notches. And I just walked down this alley counting notches. This is a long video, But look, just look. I just stop at each notch as I go down the alley. Notch. There are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of them. They're just everywhere. I'm skipping over the video, but you can see here, notch, 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 notch. Pre-Inca. That's a beautiful wall, by the way, and it's perfectly flat, but everything is intricate. And so once you know what to look for, right? Once you know what to look for, you cannot stop looking at it. It's impossible. It's impossible. All right, let's go to the next video. We're already halfway through the show and we haven't hit the big stuff yet. All right, so you probably saw I've got lots of pictures of portals, and I posted this online. That's incredible. This is, again, this is pre-Inca. This is megalithic. This is outside of the church in Cusco, and this is massive. This is a massive structure. I've got images from up on top, but this is one of the most perfectly carved things that you can ever witness. Okay, so that's Cusco. Let's bang out of here. Let's get out of here. Let me fly through the next location. I'm just going in alphabetical order, everybody. Stay with me. I've lost my mouse. Where it is, and there it is. Okay, so next up. This is Waikiki. And this is the museum. Now, I have a movie here, too, as well. You've seen the images before. Now, Waikiki is now in a new museum. Waikiki is a 2-year-old mummy. You can see the fontanel here has not closed up on the top of the skull. You've seen images of this before. It's got 2 less ribs than humans. The ribs point up instead of down like ours do. That's a very interesting part. But, of course, it is the eyes, the elongated skull. This child was born this way with an elongated skull. This wasn't boarded. And it's got adult molars. Okay. This is Waikiki. I've got these are new images and different from last year. I truly believe this is the best example of possible human alien hybrid program. But to be 2 years old, the fontanel's not closed, which indicates that this is a 2-year-old child and was born this way. Now, the head itself is about this big. All right. It looks huge here. It's not. The face is probably this big, but the eyes are full size. The size of an adult. There you can see it there. And adult molars. Absolutely incredible. I do have, this is also in the museum. This is some plumbing in the museum. And this part of Peru, they love their spirals. There's lots of spirals in the museum. I don't know what this is, but I took an image of it. This is a video I shot in an interview with Brian Forrester. It is posted online. And so you can go and listen to it yourself. But this is me interviewing Brian. I'm not going to get into all of that because the interview is really long, and this is it's about 10 minutes long. I don't have the time to get into all of it. Waikiki, I don't know. Oh, I didn't show you the pics. Oh, my bad. Okay, this is the video. Let's back up. I'll show you the pics. These are the pics there's Waikiki right there. There's Waikiki. Again, full-size eyes, full-size teeth. This is a 2-year-old child. The fontanel is still open on the crown. and has not healed again, which indicates this is an infant, and with a skull that wasn't boarded. This child was born this way. And I've heard, this is the plumbing I was talking about. I heard somebody, say and point out a couple of times, I wouldn't want to give birth. The head is tiny. And I would suspect it's already elongated. Your head, it was probably an easy birth. I'm just saying, it might have just been easy. So, there you go. All right. This is a highlight for me on the tour, without a doubt. Just absolutely incredible. Waikiki. So come to Peru with us next year, and you will see all of that. Okay, next up, Machu Picchu. I'm just going to go through these in order. I think I've got one video here, but I think it's Brian and I. But here we are, up in the center, in the courtyard, in the city center. This is all megalithic. You can see the size of the stones here. That is huge, huge. These are ginormous megalithic stones at the top of Machu Picchu. Most people don't want to talk about this. They don't want to talk about the megalithic aspect of it. They want the Inca to have built Machu Picchu. No, when the Inca got here, this was already standing on the top of this mountain. So there's Brian Forster and myself. Let's see. I don't know who this is standing here, but I'm assuming he's from our group. There's Wilco, our shaman. This is at the entrance of Machu Picchu. And there's Machu Picchu in the background. That area that I was just showing you, it's on the other side. The megalithic area, the town center is over here. But that's Machu Picchu. And you can see that's how steep it is. Yes, it is. It is on the top of a mountain that's shaped like this. Machu Picchu's on the top. Very, very steep. And as you can see down here on the terraces, there's some alpacas and some llamas. It was a very beautiful day. This is the entrance. Somebody took this picture. This is the entrance to Machu Picchu. That's the gate, the famous gate. And I'm shooting a video here. And in a second, I'll show you the actual, somebody took this shot of me. I'll show you the video in just a second that I was shooting here. There's Brian, Wilco, and myself, again, at the entrance of Machu Picchu. That's the Inca construction there. You can see what Inca looks like? That's Inca. That's Inca construction. Now let's look at some megalithic. Okay, again, great examples of what we're talking about here. There's Charles and his daughter, Alex. Charles, Harley guy, very, very cool. Charles, I know you're listening, and I hope Alex is doing great. Charles is going to be at the Conscious Life Expo. I think he's bringing Alex with him. So all of you Fadernauts, you can come up and say hi to Charles. He's very, very cool. Charles, I got to give you a call, my brother. But now in the background, that's Inca. It's Inca. Okay, see the difference? There's Gina here. She's in the chat room. And that's incredible. Machu Picchu. Absolutely incredible. In the background, you can climb. You have to do it by appointment. But if you look really close, you'll see there's people that are here climbing. I can't imagine, but there's a structure up here where the priest lived. And according to Brian, they were self-sufficient. They had their own terracing. They had their own food. This other peak here, when the clouds are not there, you can see the construction up there too as well, and people on their way. This is the entrance, and this is heading down into the megalithic courtyard. Yeah, Machu Picchu. It is insane. But it's the megalithic part. Look at the fader knots. There they are at Machu Picchu. Okay, so the megalithic courtyard, which is where we're going to be heading next. How did the stones get up there? I don't have any. This is a stone that is carved, but it's turned sideways. There's a whole row of those, and you get to walk down and through them. So this is the entrance. This is what I was filming earlier when somebody took a picture of me. And this is the entrance to Machu Picchu. There's Brian right there. He's doing the same thing that I'm doing. Everybody has to stop and take a picture in this door. And it just blocks everything up. But everybody's just kind of, I didn't stop and take a picture. Megalithic. Now, that is a giant stone. And if you look off in the distance here, see this profile? Look at my face. Profile next to that. Isn't that interesting? You see that? You guys looking at that? That's pretty cool, isn't it? I don't know what to make of it. Okay, now, so this is pre-Inca. This is ancient. That is Inca. This is not. So to say that the Inca built Machu Picchu, they built on top of a pre-Inca megalithic site. These stones were brought up there thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Yes, don't question that the Inca arrived in around 1100, 1200, built the site. They built a couple, actually. Machu Picchu wasn't the only one. And there was another secret city not too far from here that many tried to serve. Now it's been located. But look at this. That is a carved corner with a notch, with a portal, with another portal, viewing something out over this valley. There's another one there, and there's a third one here. So you have 3 windows, all megalithic. Look at the construction. Look at the size and the weight of these stones. This side stone here, I don't know. That's got to be 50 tons. This one here, there's one on the other side. I'm going to pull up some more images. These are huge. This is probably 10 feet across, probably 2.5 feet thick. Placed on that stone, and this one, this is not an Inca city. The Inca came in and inherited it. And the archaeologists and the historians of Peru, they are in complete denial on any of this. They don't even want to hear you talking like this at Machu Picchu. They don't want the tourist to get any wind of any of this. It's insane. And it's so obvious. Now, if you look through this portal, let me show you how obvious it is. Look right across. What do you see? Inca, megalithic. Inca, megalithic. That's 2 different Machu Picchus there. And you can see it right there. It can't be any more obvious. And the Inca, not bad, right? There's the gabled roof, and not bad. It ain't this or this. This is the other mountain peak on the other side. You can see it is terraced. There are people up there. and you have to reserve that a couple of years in advance, and that is a treacherous hike. I don't even want to think about it. And that's some brave souls right there to get up there. But there's the terracing, and there's the structures up there. There's some more people over here. Look at that. I don't know. I don't know. That's why I took that picture. Yeah, up at the tippy top. Look at that. That's crazy. All right. There were quite a few images, and I think I've got one here. I can go back and look for it. Where there's some strange things in the sky in above us in Machu Picchu. I don't know. Pretty interesting. And there you go. I had to do the llamas and the alpacas. Now, so walking out of Machu Picchu, I see this Harley patch. There's a million gift shops, millions. And we're going through, and we got to get the bus and then catch the train going back. I'm a Harley guy. Look, see this? See that logo? That trademarked Harley logo? You see that? Right? We all know it. I'm walking through, and I look, and I go, check that out. So I bought it. I don't know if I can wear that on my cut and not get in trouble with the other Harley guys out there. I don't know, but I guess I'm going to find out the hard way. This is Moray. And I'm going to do a video in just a second. And, well, actually, let's just bust out the video first. This is Moray. This is Brian and I. And I'm interviewing Brian about it. Let's see, how long is this video? It's about 2 minutes, but there it is. I think this is one of the most beautiful sites in all of Peru. And I believe that this is an amphitheater. And when you look at it, it reminds you of only one thing, like the Greek theater or the any outdoor amphitheater that you can think of, the Hollywood Bowl. There's a stage, there's seating, there's stairs, there's steps. If I pause this right here, you can see the steps zigzag right up the side, right? They're here, they're here, they're here, and they go all the way down into the center. There's a stage here, there's a platform, and plenty of seating for a lot of people. And you can go down here. There's no access to it now. You can't see anybody down there, but you can go down there and just have a conversation with anybody standing on top of the hill. You can whisper from down there. It's really old. Now, so the story behind this is that a meteor came in and crashed at 3 different spots. And created these craters. This is in a mountainside. On the top of the mountain, and these bowls are cut, and then they went in and built these amphitheaters. And there are 3. There's 2 more on the other side of the hill. This is the big one on this side, but see, on the other side of the hill, going in that direction, there are 2 more over there on the other side of the mountain. But this is beautiful. It is just absolutely stunning. Moray. Let's see if I zoom in. If I don't, I'm going to back out of this really quick and get to some images. But you can see this for yourself. When you go on the tour to Peru with Brian Forrester, this is one of the highlights for me, because when you walk up the hill and you come up to the edge and then you look down into it's just like, what? It's perfect. It's perfect. It's just as perfect as you are seeing right here. It is stunning, and it's stunning for So many different reasons. Aesthetically, yes, obviously it's perfect, but there's that part of it. The other part is the engineering. What is really going on here? There's the steps. You see the steps coming down the side? There's more steps there, all the way up. Look, steps. Those are jutting out of the rock face and the walls, and they go all the way up. It's as beautiful, but it's an enigma. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's so perfect. Somebody spent a lot of time, obviously, building that, but for what purpose? And the local the Peruvian archaeologists and anthropologists will say that the Inca built that to test and genetically modify seeds for potatoes and corn for different altitudes, and each one of those notches represents a terrace and an elevation, and they genetically modified the different crops that they were growing there, and that's where they tested it, and they brought it. It's like, that's an amphitheater. Okay, this is Napa, Iglesias Napa. And I talked about this a lot last year. This is a whole series of shots. Oh, there's Gina. Gina, you're going to be featured again. So this is Napa. This is the cave. Again, this was rediscovered by Brian Forrester. And Irene and Brian had heard about this location and went and chased it down. And eventually a local villager brought him up, and they were the first to get there. Now, more and more people are aware of this site. I talked to Giorgio Tsoukalos on the day that we visited. He said, man, I love Napa. It's an incredible site. So it's a cave. It's very, very, very old. It's got megalithic carvings, but here in this basalt stone, there are three positions that you sit in. There's one here. There's the center spot. And is that Charles? That might be Charles. Charles, is that you? It's Charles on that end. And that's Gina. She's in the chat room right now. And this faces out over this valley. Now, let me move on off of this so you can see a little bit more. This is a megalithic carving on the inside of the cave. This is everybody in our crew. That's myself. That's Frank. That's Justin. That's Doug. There's Erica. That's Sherry. These are two people that we didn't know they were meditating the whole time while we were there. There's Doug. There's John. There's Brian. There's Alex. There's Stacy. And we're getting ready to do, there's Jan. He's from the Netherlands. And that's Julio. That's Julio from Cuba. That's John Lang back there in the background. Okay, so moving on, everybody. I hope I got you in. Oh, and this is Vlad from the Ukraine. Yeah, very cool, dude. Okay. So this is looking out of the cave, and I was trying to get the V shape. On the other wall are the portals. Now, this is the ceremony about to start. This is Erica. I picked everybody for the ceremony. I wanted Charles and Alex to experience this as father and daughter. This is Wilco doing the ceremony. And I wanted Erica. Erica has been to Göbekli Tepe. And it's very cool. I mean, I thought the world of Erica. She's very cool. But I wanted her to be the center and be the connection of the energy that is feeding between Alex and Charles as the ceremony starts. And again, this is a very personal experience. This went on for a while. This was about a 15-minute meditation. This is during the meditation. I happen to open my eyes. Wilco has his ceremonial drum and did everything in the native language. All right. And this is the beginning of the ceremony. They teleported. That's all I'm going to say. That's me teleporting there. Yeah. Absolutely incredible. More portals. Everybody knows that I love my portals. Now, if you look, take a look at the shape, right? You see what's going on. And then I'll show you more of that when we get to Puma Punku. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. That shape, this shape right here, this. You just saw Amaru Muru. That shape is everywhere. Wilco and I at the top. That's the cave in the background. At the top of the hill. It's a little treacherous. That's the stairs leading up. It's as scary as it looks. There's no guardrails and no handrails. Yeah. That's all of that. Napa Iglesia. Yeah. Pretty cool. That's an amazing site. And again, a highlight if you go to Peru with Brian Forrester. All right, let's see. What are we doing next here? Next, that's Napa, Nazca. We'll come back to Nazca. We'll come back to that. Let's do Ollantaytambo. Or let me look at the clock here. I've got a lot of Puma Punku to get in as well, and Sacsayhuaman. All right, so let's just bust through this. Ollantaytambo. I'm just going to fly through this. All right, this is the beginning of the Sacred Valley. Our hotel is down there at the bottom, and this is on our way to the hotel, and then Ollantaytambo. These are all taken in order. This is the restaurant at the bottom of Ollantaytambo. Yes, we are all wearing red bibs. There's Alex, there's Irene, there's myself, there's Christian, there's Brett, there's Gustavo in the background. There's Justin, there's Vlad, Doug, Pat, Colette, Steve, Lynn. Steve and Lynn. After this trip, Steve and Lynn went to Easter Island, by the way. Let's see. There's Gina. That's Tim and Tom. And yeah. It's funny how I just know everybody here. Just family. Somebody on the street wave. Oh, that's Julio. Julio from the street. All right. So that's us having lunch. That's us having lunch. That's everybody there. Red bibs. There's Charles. Again, Charles, Christian, Frank, Brett, Alex, Irene, myself. Who's this? That's Vlad. There's Justin. There's Colette. There's Steve. There's Lynn. There's Gustavo. TNT, Tim and Tom, two brothers that came on the tour. Very cool. We had so much fun. And now at this particular restaurant, I just thought I'd show you, everything was on stone. I had steak, a bunch of different sauces. It's just incredible. I mean, these potatoes are grown in the Andes Mountains, and they're mind-blowingly amazing, as you can imagine. Okay, so anyway, here's Ollantaytambo. Now, let's take a look here. Let's see what's going on. We have a combination of megalithic and Inca. Moving on here, there's been a few earthquakes and a few things tumbled down from the hill, and they're on display here at the bottom. I've taken lots of pictures of these in the past, like this one. Again, I just find that amazing. This is the hill. This is the mountain facing Ollantaytambo. I think that is a face. So does Brian Forrester. There's a fortress that is built into the side of this hill, and it's incredible. And that faces Ollantaytambo. This is Ollantaytambo here. And it's a dong, it's a llama. This is at the bottom. This is a drill hole. Look at that. I don't know. But I did have to take a picture of that. I took a few. This is ancient. This is thousands of years old. And I have no idea. Look at that. It's just in a rock. A megalithic rock that's sitting on its side. There's megalith mania right there. I think this is one of the most incredible spot. Now, this is on the way up the hill. Again, here we go, right? Here we go. Here we go. This is not Cusco. This is the Sacred Valley. There's Wilco and myself. You can see how high up it is. Now you can see we're at the top of Ollantaytambo here, and you can see the facing mountain in the background. Again, you can come to Peru with this next year and see it. Now, here's another portal. Again, it's the same shape as you saw over at Napa. You're going to see this throughout Peru. But it's this shape. There it is. Some say this is for sonic stuff and ohming, but look at the construction of this. That is pre-Inca. There's another one. There's another one. These are not the same. That is a different. Look at that. It's just incredible to me. I have no idea. I don't. I would like to say I have all the answers. And you look at this doorway. Look at these corners. Look at this. Inca, not Inca. Inca, pre-Inca. Are you getting the vibe? Look at these pre-Inca. That's old, really old. So when you come up to the top, now this is at the Sun Temple at the top of Ollantaytambo. This red granite block right here, this is probably 10 feet long, 4 feet thick, 4 feet wide. I've got lots of pictures of it. There's many of them. And I try to take them from every angle. And this is like 15 feet long with this ridge cut out of the bottom of it. And you can see in the background there is another. That's the row of red granite blocks at the top. This is huge. This is at the top of Ollantaytambo. Look at that. That's one piece of stone. That's a ridge. That's not you looked at that and thought it was 2 blocks. No. Bam, bam. 20 feet, maybe 8 feet wide, but it's got this ridge cut in it. Look at that. All the way up. That is pre-Inca. That is ancient. Ancient. Look at that. There's another ridge here that's cut. These stones are huge. Huge. 150 ton. Look at this. And that's at the top. Look at these stones next to it. You're looking at that and you're looking at this in the background. Then look at this. It's just incredible. Perfectly cut, perfectly placed. It's red granite. Now, Inca in the middle. See? That's Inca, pre-Inca. Huge. Huge. Again, notch. Now, so here, these are 6 megalithic blocks placed in a row at the top of Ollantaytambo with these spacers in the middle. You can see the relief carving that's on the front. But, okay, so these spacing blocks, look at this. You see this for yourself and you just, how and why? How did you get this up the mountain and then carve it to such precision? This doesn't have the molten look, by the way, that other stones have. And I think that possibly things were heated up for sure. These were not. These are carved. It's just incredible. It's Brian and I at the top of Ollantaytambo. Now, when we got to the bottom, I was greeted by this little schnauzer puppy. I used to have a couple of schnauzers, Portia. She looks just like Portia. But he just sat there and hung out with me. Beautiful haircut, well trimmed, and well behaved. Look at that face. Look at that face. Right? Are you guys with me? I know you are. Look at those eyes. And before you're thinking, oh, that's just an abandoned. No. His mom was one of the people that ran the coffee shop there. I watched her come out, and he just turned around and stayed right on her feet. She walked down the street, and she came back, and he's right there. And yeah, very cool. All right, let's see what's next. Let's look at the clock. Let's get Puma Punku in. I've got a lot to cover with Puma Punku. I've got lots of video. So I'm going to get as much in as I can. So here we are. Let's start here. I'm just going to go in order. Some of this has been on Ancient Aliens, some has not. I like this first image here. This is an example of the slots and drill holes in some of the stones at Puma Punku. And this stone has not been on Ancient Aliens. This is from the back half of the site. That's neither here nor there. I want you to look closely at that slot. Look at this. $15,000 years old. $15,000 years old. And it's just sitting there, sitting in the grass. I don't know. Okay, fade or not to Puma Punku. There we are. There's Pat. There's Brett. There's Sherry. There's Doug. That's cool. Love these guys, right? Not as cool as that H block with a portal carved into it. And another one down there. More on that in just a minute. But there is Puma Punku. You can see in the background. This is what is going on at Puma Punku. And now let's do a nice long walk through. There's the entrance. Okay, so I went around Puma Punku and I started shooting these portals. Now, remember, go back to Napa Iglesias. What did I show you? What did I show you at the top of Ollantaytambo, right? On the H blocks. This is just another random block at Puma Punku with that shape. There's another one. This is an H block. The shape is on top. The one on the bottom is square without the notches on the side, like you see everywhere else in Peru. This is old. This is pre-Inca. And it's the precision of what we're talking about here. Look at that. And it suggests that this was chicken bone. Look at that corner. And it's just repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated. Another H block with a portal. Oh, this is another block with a portal. Another portal, another block. This is an H block here. Some are weathered. You know, they've been exposed for 15,000 years to all of the elements. But there's the portal there. There's another one down on the bottom. You'll see this theme repeats itself. These are all different blocks. But these, look at that. When you see this in person and you see how square and perfect it is, and I've got some examples of that. Doug brought some tools with him and started checking this stuff out. These are all different blocks, all with those portals. There's another one. That's a random, look at this. Just sitting there. So this is Doug with his precise square, machinist square. Look at that. That is perfect. I saw it for myself. There's a hole that passed through the top of a rock and then out the side right here. Plumbing, I don't know. There's another random block with that shape carved in it. There's a couple of holes here that curve around. It's Puma Punku. See it everywhere. Random blocks in a pit. Look at this. Look at that. Just random. So the archaeology, just so you understand, Tiwanaku, which is across the street, but it is considered a different site. Puma Punku is ignored. There's no archaeology going on there. To some degree at some point, but not now. Oh, look at this. It's just sitting here. They dug down to a certain point and they just left everything. Look, it's just sticking out of the dirt. And it's everywhere. You can just walk through and walk up to it. Look at this. How beautiful is it? What is its purpose? And it's just sitting there. These are channels. That's Puma Punku. It's everywhere. Okay, now, so here's a video, obviously, that I shot. And as I walked through here, I got some special permission to go behind the ropes. So I did that. So I grabbed as much video as I could. I got separated from the tour group. And you can see it's raining just a little sprinkle coming down. The rain did stop. Now, this is a row of blocks just placed. I'm just walking randomly. I'm behind the lines, trying to. There's another example of these portals that I call them portals. Now, these stones that you're looking at here, and I can stop at any point in these videos. These videos are for my documentary that I'm going to narrate over. But if you look in the background here, you can see these right here. That is a piece of stone in the background right here. Follow my mouse. That's 30 or 40 feet wide. It's 3.5 to 4 feet thick. It's as flat as a billiard table. And these were sitting upright. And they fell over. These are parts of a wall. And they all fit together like puzzle pieces. And they've got joiners in them too as well. You can stop at any point and stand in front of any of this in awe. There's another row of H blocks. You can see the portals on the inside of each one. I call them portals. I asked Brian about that. I said, what do you think the significance of that is? He doesn't know. He thinks it might be like a signature from an artist. Now, this is, again, billiard table flat. The edges are a little cracked, right? But the stone itself is flat, and it was upright at one point. So I walk over here. Now watch what I do with the camera, and I come down and I go level so you can see across this and see how flat it is. It is flat. Okay, now here, I'm going to stop. This is all sections, and you can see the lines of everything as it was put together. There's a ridge here, and it comes down. This is 30, 40 feet across, and you can see how everything fits together. These are ginormous, huge blocks. Okay, so you can see the keys where they were locked together. You can see it here. You poured molten metal in here and locked everything together. There's a notch here for something. There's a notch here for something. This, just to put it in perspective, from the foreground here over to here, that's probably 15 feet. I don't want to exaggerate here and say it's 20 feet, but it's probably 15 feet. It's 3 feet thick. There's a ridge on the bottom. And all of this fits together. You can see way off in the background. Now, from here to the other side up here, that's probably 40 to 50 feet. And I go across all of this so you can see how this fit together. This is two separate pieces. There's a key lock here in the middle. And this is the side of the wall. Now I go down and look how flat it is. Look at that. Look at that. It's beyond description. Those are two H blocks right here in the background, by the way. You can see how everything locked together. There's some carving and some symbology there. Puma Punku. It's absolutely incredible. Let's fly through this because now okay, I want everybody to understand what you're seeing here with Puma Punku. This is the entrance of the site. Puma Punku itself is huge. A lot of focus is on the H blocks and what is going on at the front of the site. And as it should be, they are incredible. And these are the H blocks that you see when you first enter the site. And again, I want to remind everybody there's another one of these portals. I guess that's what they are. You can see some more here. But in these stones right here, there's one here. There's one here on the other side. I've got more pictures of it. This is the front of Puma Punku. In the background here is a giant square. And in a second, we're going to go all the way around the perimeter. Okay, so there's the H blocks. There you can see. I don't know what the importance of it is, but there it is there. There it is there. It's on the inside of the H blocks. I think they're portals. Okay, so now this is Puma Punku. This is starting the back side. So to put this in perspective, the H blocks that you've been looking at from this camera angle are behind me, the entrance. Puma Punku is a giant square. So the square is here and the H blocks are in this little tiny area in the front. So now we're going to walk around the perimeter of Puma Punku. You've never seen this before. All right, let's go. So I start the walk. This is the first corner. And as you can see, look at the stones in the background. They're just sitting there. There's no archaeology being done here. You can just walk through all of this. Just sitting there. It's such an important site. Now, as I start to take my walk, and you can see these steps, you can see in the background, look at the terracing. These are giant stone, the huge blocks of stone, just so finely placed and machined. Lost my mouse. Here we go. Now I just continue the walk. Look at this. It goes on and on and on. You can stop at any point in this and just go, what? I'm just continuing. How beautiful is that? What was its purpose? Who built it? When was it built? Now I'm just continuing down a straight line. This is on the first corner. And this is probably just shy of a quarter mile. It's certainly, what's that? That's 400 yards. Yes, probably 200, 250 yards long. This is Puma Punku. And again, just largely ignored. Now here, this is the corner, and here is a tunnel. Look at that. There's an image of it. So we can talk about the H blocks and everything else, but what is very interesting about Puma Punku is on this side, this is on the back side of Puma Punku, something cataclysmic happened. All of those intricately placed blocks are now broken apart. These are huge stones. You know, these are 6 feet by 6 feet, 2 to 3 feet thick. And they've been blasted out and broken apart and are tumbled on the back stretch of Puma Punku. So what was it? I don't know. A tsunami, a meteor, some cosmic event. I don't know. But you saw the finely crafted steps and walls as you enter this side of Puma Punku. This is the back side, and everything is blasted apart. Some of the stones are sitting behind me. I'm just walking along this row, but they're cast a boot. And these are huge. These are big, 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 big blocks. And then we come up to this very strange staircase, which is here, and it's melted. Some of it is square, but this is a very, very, very strange. So this staircase goes up to the top of the temple or the site itself. Again, there's so much focus on the H blocks and what is going on in front. Now, so you take the stairs up, and this is in the center of the site. Those square walls that you just saw here are in the background here. This is the top of Puma Punku. So you go up those stairs, you reach the top of the site, and you come across this. Now, again, this is pre-Inca, megalithic, very, very old. But there's no archaeology being done here. They dug down to a certain level and just left it, everything as it is. So let's take a look at this. There's a floor here, obviously. And then we have this stone. It hasn't been dug out. This has been sitting here for thousands and thousands of years in this position. You can see how the soil has been filled in. What is the purpose of all of this? Let's go in the background here. Look. And they've just left it. And as a tourist, you can just walk here and witness this for yourself. This is finely machined, done thousands of years ago, and it is being largely, completely ignored. It's sad. It's sad to think that, you know, some culture did this so many thousands of years ago, and then, you know, I don't know if it's money, if it's funding or whatever, but that's important. If this was found in Egypt, they would have a heart attack. They would have a heart attack. They would move in hundreds of people, and universities would get all involved, and we just found a new temple site, and they would lose their mind. And here, this is just sitting, you know, 10,000 years. It's just sitting there, ignored. And they would lose their minds if this was found in Egypt. And this is just sitting. You can walk right up to it, just sitting. Don't know what this is. Again, it's just something sitting in the grass. But look at the precision. This is a hole. This is a straight channel. There's another hole here. What was on the other side of it? I don't know. Why the ridges are cut here. The drill holes, I don't know. And there it sits. You just see this everywhere. Look at this. So again, back in Egypt, so much is made about the drill holes, and it's right here. It's just as important. And you can see this for yourself. You can just go to Peru. Like, I know I keep mentioning it. Look at this. It's a pile of megalithic craziness just left, just sitting here. This isn't a museum exhibit. Look in the background here. Look. No, it's just there is nobody to do the archaeology and to record this. Some more drill holes and slots. This is a video of me walking up a row of H blocks. Just incredible to see. I'll never forget the first time I saw Ancient Aliens, and I was like, what is going on here? And in this interview, it's pretty interesting. Brian says, the most important thing on planet Earth right here, the H blocks. And I think he may be right. Here's our group shot. I wanted to show this to everybody as we start to close out the night. I've got some other stuff we're going to do here. I want to introduce you to everybody. And there's Tim and Tom. There's Steve. There's Lynn. There's Gina. There's Brett. There's some fat dude with a Harley shirt on. This is Julio. That's Colette. That's Stacy. That's Irene. There's Brian. There's Gustavo. Let's see who's next. Man, this guy right here, Pat, he's absolutely, I had so much fun. Oh, he's got a faded black shirt on too as well. That's Frank. Justin and Stacy. There's Alex. There's Sherry. There's Doug. There's Doug. This is Erica here. And there's Charles. And wow, who is this? No. I can't brain freeze. I can't brain freeze on who that is. I just did. It's a live show, and I'll take it on the chin. But there we are, the group at Puma Punku. And what a great time we had. Everybody that is not only part of this family, but is watching right now is got a memory popping through their head. And let me back up here for a second. Let me go back. Steve can quote me from just about any episode of Fade to Black. Lynn, his wife, puts up with that. Brett, everybody, this is Dire Wolf. That's right. Now you know. You can put the face behind the name. That's Dire Wolf right there. And again, he can quote just about any show. And so can Pat. And having Sherry, who is just become one of my dearest friends, and her husband, Doug. We've now been to 4 countries together this year. This is a family that will stay together forever. And so just hello, everybody. Just thank you so much for making this trip one of the most special ones that I've ever done and may ever do. The bar has now been set on a tour. All right, let me see. I'm gonna get one other thing in. Let's see what I can bust out. Let's go to. I've got 5 minutes left. Let's see. Oh, man, I got the Sun Gate here too as well. I got Titicaca. I got Tiwanaku. Maybe I will do another special. This is. I'm gonna bust through this. This is Sacsayhuaman. And this is the entrance to Sacsayhuaman. This is the entrance. This is the site above it. This is called the Labyrinth. I caught the second half of this because it's just started to rain, and I had to put my umbrella away. But that's absolutely incredible. And so this is, I'm going to say it just so you know, this is a table where sacrifices were done to the gods. There's Brian there, and that's what you're looking at. It's a very powerful, this is a underground chamber, very powerful emotional place to go into. And again, megalithic, very, 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 very old. And this is Brian doing an interview. This is called Kinko. This is Kenko. And this leads into Sacsayhuaman, but this stone here is probably 20 feet tall. Brian says it's 75 tons. And this is me interviewing him about that. This is Kenko overlooking Sacsayhuaman. That's Cusco in the background. Yeah, whatever. And there's Brett. Man, Brett's cool. There's Steve. Steve, what's up, brother? So this is the cave that you go through to enter Sacsayhuaman, and this is going through and out into a ceremonial circle at the top. Yes, it gets dark. It gets dark. It only looks light because he's got his flashlight on, but it is pitch black. And it's a cave. It's as crazy as what you think it is. And Christian is in front of me. We're the first two going through the cave. I did this last year. There's no lights in there. So you got to feel your way through and watch your head. There it is. That's how dark it is. Right there. Christian turned off his light, and I kind of freaked. You don't need to hear what I said out loud, but yeah, it got pretty scary there for a minute. I just couldn't see. Okay, so coming out of the cave, that's the cave in the background. This is Sacsayhuaman. This is the ceremonial circle. There's Charles. There's Alex with Wilco. And you go from here. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time here, but you go from here and up and over the hill. And there's Gustavo. This is, again, this stone here was flipped over. It's pretty incredible because these stones are all lined up. And that's the stone in the background that you see. It has been flipped over. These ridges line up with where I'm sitting here when it was sitting upright. It's a giant stone. It's huge. You can see it there. You can see how it's been flipped over. I don't know what flipped it over and what kind of energy was involved, but it's pretty insane. But you can see it's huge. It's huge. It's got to be a couple of 100 tons. And you can see how it lined up with everything else. And there it is sitting upside down, completely reversed. I've got video of people sliding on this from our tour group. This is water erosion from, goes back probably millions of years. But it is glass smooth, and yes, you can slide down that, and a lot of us did. Okay, so here you go. Enjoy this. This is Sacsayhuaman as you approach. That's Cusco in the background. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. There it is. And those stones that you see down there are as big as a house. And I know I've talked about this a lot. Those little dots you see down there, those are not ants. No, that's people. That's Sacsayhuaman. So in a second here, we'll walk down the hill, and let me get to another video. Those are people down there. Those little dots. Those are people. All right. Let's get out of here and go to the next. Keep losing my mouse with the video. Okay. Yeah. See, those are people. All right. Let's get down there. Let's go. Enough of me. Look at that. This is pre-Inca. Nobody knows. There are ideas and theories. How the stone, we know where the stones came from. They came from about 5 to 6 miles away from the quarry, over that hill that's behind me. So there you go. You're looking at people there. You can see now the size of what we're talking about, but it's very important. This is pre-Inca. That's Inca. See the difference? Okay. All right. Now there's 3 levels to this, but that's the Inca right there. And this is pre-Inca. Now, you think that's big? Look at that cornerstone. And I do a lot of study of these cornerstones because there's one at every single notch. And each one of those cornerstones has to fit in both directions. There you go. So you see that? Pre-Inca, Inca right here. So in this video, there's a cornerstone. Now let's walk through this a little bit. So I show you the other side of the hill. That's the Inca stairs that are coming down. That's what we came down to get into Sacsayhuaman. On the top of those stairs is where that cave is and the stone circle. Okay, so now I'm going to pan back across so you can see the size of this site. It's on the mountaintop overlooking Cusco. So now we come back around here. You can see the stone wall goes all the way down the hill. Now let's come back up. That's our tour group here. We have the site to ourselves at this point. So it was very cool that we could spend so much time up here. Now, so let me back this up one little quick spot. I'm going to freeze it. That's a cornerstone. Okay. Of one of the notches. If I stop here, you can see these interior stones that all bend. And then the cornerstones are on the outside that bend in the opposite direction. So what you have to have happen for each one of these notches is this has to turn the corner and then continue the wall on this side. Then it's got to go down, hit this corner, everything makes a turn, comes back out, and you have another cornerstone, another notch, another interior bend, and back out. And it goes on and on like this forever. See each one of those notches? Each one of those has a ginormous cornerstone. Look at this. That's as big as your first apartment. Incredible. Now, so as you look at these and I come up close, and I do this for a reason, you can see the puffiness. There's a puffiness. There's a puffy quality to all of this. So were they rounded intentionally, or were they heated like muffins in an oven, right? Like biscuits. And that caused the puffiness. And if that's the case, and this was all heated, you can stop here and see the Inca construction. See the Inca? Okay. So is this some industrial sized heating process to allow these stones to be so form fitting, or were they carved in place? Nobody knows. But I'm very curious about the rounded edges, and it just looks puffy to me, like dough, like pizza dough, like cookies, like biscuits. And you can see where the Inca tried to repeat this beautiful carving, and they're trying to do it, but they're carving and placing this stuff. Well, this may be carved too, but look at the size of this. My nose comes up to here. That's 6 feet. Look at the size of this stone. And then it's got to come around and take this corner. It's so big. That notch has to fit that notch, which has to fit that notch, which has to fit this one, which has to go up top here, fit those 3 notches there. So all of those stones can fit into place to allow for this cornerstone to go in. And then you walk, by the way, it's just as thick and it goes 10 feet underground. Just in case you're wondering. That's the stones aren't stopping here. They go 10 feet underground. So now you got to come around the corner, and that cornerstone then has to repeat the process. It's insane. It's insane. So when we look at this, like that's a really good example right there. You look up at the top of the hill, there's megalithic, and then there's the Inca. Because we try to look at this as modern techniques on how we would do this today, right? And I get that. I understand that, right? That's why our brain doesn't work when we look at this stuff, because it just doesn't make any sense. They're too big. They're 150 ton stones, especially for the corner blocks. This stone here that I'm looking at is probably 100 tons, and it's 10 feet tall. I'm pointing up here. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm looking up at all of this. It just doesn't make any sense in a modern context. So how did they do it back then? Now, Merlin, levitation, sound. Somehow the stones had to get moved into place. That's for sure. Then how were they shaped and placed? I don't know. And when we look at this just with cranes and trains and flatbed trucks and where we try to just apply what we know with today's technology, and how did it get done? Because it can't. We just don't have the ability to do that today, and on such a scale. Because there are thousands of these blocks on 3 different levels that stretch as far as the eye can see in both directions. It's repeated over and over and over again. Here we are, taking a group photo. The group photo is awesome, right? There's a few of them here. That's a great group photo. Look at that team. And you know what? It's cool. I love everybody in this shot. Everybody's great. That's not what's cool. What's cool is what's going on in the background. So you look at somebody like Steve here, who's 6 feet tall, right? Or Pat, Brian, right? Charles, he's like 6'4". That'll give you an idea of how tall and how big these blocks actually are. That's what's great about this shot. Man, we had such a great time. And you know what? I look at this. Everybody's mind is so completely blown at this point. Everybody here. Now, Teo, our anthropologist, he told me that out of everything in Peru, if he had unlimited funding, he would dig right below his feet in this shot. That's where he would do his dig. And there are plenty of really cool places in Peru and Bolivia, but he thinks Sacsayhuaman has got a lot of mysteries underneath it. And so there you go. And you're just standing there, and it's just like being a part of history. I think I might have a couple more. This is the entrance to Sacsayhuaman. I love this shot. Again, it's that portal. It's the same thing that you see in Bolivia. I've shown you so many pictures now, Puma Punku, Tiwanaku, of this very same. I don't know what to make of it. This is Wilco again. Now, I took this shot for a few different reasons. Now, and we'll end on this. I'll do a part 2, everybody. Don't worry about it. Look what's going on here. So we have Inca here, right? We have Inca here. It's obvious. And then we have a drain hole for rain. That's what that is. I've got a couple more shots of those. I'll see if I can get it in. All of this done around this. Look at this block. Yeah. Take a really good look at that. I went up and I looked at the gaps. Again, there's your notches. Look at that. Look. And I took a really good look at this. And I'm telling you, look at that notch. See that? See that? See that little nipple? It's crazy. That's a notch. I just can't wrap my head around this. I can't do it. That's a very, very important shot. Just one section of thousands of rocks that are going in both directions. But that just kind of says it all. Oh, check this out. Rain gutter sticking out of a 10,000-year-old wall. With the notch. Man. Yeah. So as I was walking out of Sacsayhuaman, I stopped at this block and I took a really, really good look at it, just sitting there by itself. And I made a connection with it. So I took that shot. And I can't explain why. Look at Pat. Can't explain why. Sometimes you get connected to something, and I did. Well, there you go. We'll make this a part 1. I only got halfway through everything I told you. I had 820 images and videos. So we will do a part 2, and I'll try to squeeze that in. Maybe I'll do it this weekend, but I'll certainly do it next week. I'm Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black, and there you go. My recap of Peru and Bolivia that I did with Brian Forrester. I just got back. This is hot off the presses. I hope you enjoyed it. And now I'm going to go and kick off my weekend here. I still haven't relaxed at all. I'm still going. Let's see if I can get some rest in this weekend. I'll see everybody on Monday. Monday, we have Dragon from Skinwalker Ranch. It's Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. For now, all I've got is Go Backley Tappy. Fade to Black is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee Newman, and Michelle Freed. Special thanks to Bill, John, Dex, Jessica, Dennis, and Kevin. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music by Doug Aldrich. Intro, Space Boy. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2024 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Go Backley Tappy.